Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Gloucester Zoning Board of Appeals meeting of October 10th, 2024. This is a hybrid meeting where we're being held in person here at Skyros Auditorium and also available on Zoom for people to participate remotely. The Zoom ID number tonight is 831-5651-8878 for the record. I recognize in attendance myself, Joe Parisi, Catherine Schlichty, James Gelati, Ron, why do I always stutter on? Ronald Wilson, and Michael Nyman. And I declare we have a quorum present. Our first order of business is request for continuations. So due to the first two that I will discuss is 52 Taylor Street and 143 Essex Avenue. Both of those have requested continuance because the updated drawings to do with the neighborhood concerns have not been finished. And so we are going to entertain a motion to move those two hearings to November 14th. So people won't have to stay around or be on. So I'll entertain a motion, Taylor Street, 52 Taylor and 143 Essex Ave, continue to November 14th.
So I'd make a motion to continue 52 Taylor Street and 143 Essex Avenue to our first November meeting, November 14th.
Second.
Made and seconded, roll call.
Mr. Nyman?
Yes.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Schlichty?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes. A second continuing is we have the two petitions of Wingashiek LLC, 105 Wingashiek Road and 107 Wingashiek Road, and both of these need to be continued due to, I guess we'll say, the city getting used to the new regulations. And we're going to request those two be continued to, in 2 weeks, to October 24th. Entertain a motion.
Yeah, I can make the same motion. Move that we continue 105 Wingashiek Road and 107 Wingashiek Road to our next regularly scheduled meeting, which I believe is October 24th.
Correct.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Mr. Nyman?
Yes.
Ms. Schlichty?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes. Okay, cuts this agenda down a little. Our first order of new business is the petition of Peter J. Carboni, trustee, seeking to extend a previously granted special permit under 1.8.6 for the property located at 2 High Rock Terrace. Attorney.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Joel Favaza. I'm an attorney at Seaside Legal Solutions, 123 Main Street, here on behalf of Mr. Carboni, the trustee owner. As you recall, 2 years ago, we received a special permit to alter and expand existing non-conforming single-family home out at 2 High Rock Terrace. We have since then been working through environmental issues. It's a very environmentally sensitive site. We actually were literally this afternoon out at the site with the Concom and the neighborhood working through the latest iteration of the plans. And so we're requesting a continuance for 6 more months to hopefully wrap up the Concom permitting and get this thing in gear.
Thank you. Any questions, or are we ready for a motion?
Is this a
Continuance of the special permit.
Oh, I see it. Okay. I'll make a motion. On the petition of Peter J. Carboni seeking to extend a previously granted special permit for property for an additional 6 months for the property located at 2 High Rock Terrace, I would move approval of the extension.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call.
Schlichty?
Yes.
Mr. Nyman?
Yes.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Thank you.
One other order of business. So this is part of our new regulation we adopted, our procedure last meeting. and what will be happening in the future, and we only have one tonight, but as decisions now come in leading up to the meeting and every member's had an opportunity to review them, we will vote to adopt the decision as written. That will eliminate the need to chase signatures of everyone, and only either the chairman or the vice chair, could be running the meeting, would be able to sign them. So with tonight, I would entertain a motion to approve the decision written up for John Lawler and Elisetti Andre for 192 Eastern Avenue.
I would move approval of the decision as written for 192 Eastern Avenue.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call.
Ms. Schlichty,
Yes.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Parisi.
Yes. Okay, getting on to our hearings tonight. We have three. The first is the petition of Christopher and Pamela McKay seeking to modify a previously granted variance under 1.7.4, or in the alternative for a variance under 1.7 and 3.2.1 from front yard setback requirements at 8 Coggleshell Road. Attorney Ellison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Deborah Ellison, Ellison Law Office, 63 Middle Street, Gloucester. The owners and applicant are here tonight, Christopher and Pamela McKay. They're behind me. And the property is located at 8 Cogshell Road. And if I may share my screen, Mr. Chairman? The applicant is requesting a modification under GZO 1.7.4 of the variance of 4 feet from the front yard setback that was approved on April 20th, 2016. And in the alternative, they are seeking a grant of an additional variance of 4 feet from the front yard setback. The McKays are seeking to add a second floor to the existing single-family home. They want to move the existing bedrooms that are in the basement to the second floor. And these are the elevations showing what the second floor will look like. In the spring of 2024, they had a significant flooding issue in the basement, causing thousands of dollars of damage. They had taken preventive measures previously to help alleviate the water situation, which they believe is due to a high water table, but none of them have been effective. They installed a footing drain around the foundation. They installed a French drain around the perimeter of the property. They replaced the plywood base floor by raising the plywood 2 inches off the basement floor. They cut into the floor around the furnace so the water can be pumped out and not harm the furnace. But again, nothing has really worked. Moving the bedrooms will make it a much better living condition for those rooms and also minimize the flooding issues in the future. The second floor will house the primary bedroom with an attached bathroom, and there will be 3 other bedrooms that will share 1 other bathroom. All of this will be constructed within the footprint of the existing home. In 2006, there was a variance granted of 4 feet to construct an addition on the left side, and you can see there's sort of a bump out here. And through inadvertence or mistake, the prior variance should have been for 8 feet and not 4 feet. And so now we're asking this board to either modify the earlier decision or grant a new variance of 4 feet to bring the house into compliance.
Deb, just a question. So if the variance had been granted properly the first time, you would still need to modify that variance, correct?
I don't believe so, because the proposed addition, the second floor is within all the other dimensional requirements, including height. So I don't believe there would be a need to have modified that. So the lot itself is 11,576 square feet. In the R20 district, 20,000 square feet is required. It meets the Appendix 3.2 requirements, so the front yard and rear yard are 20 feet, and the side yards are 10 feet, and minimum lot width and lot frontage are 80 feet. Aside from the front yard setback, all other dimensional requirements are compliant now and under the new project, including height, which is 27 feet 1 inch above the average existing grade. The 2006 variance granted a variance of 4 feet, but that was insufficient to make the house compliant. And it's the original house that's not compliant. So from the addition in 2006, we have a 19-foot setback and an 18-foot setback. So the 4-foot that was granted was sufficient. However, the original house is 12 feet from the property line. So that requires an 8-foot variance, and only 4 feet was granted. So it's really the current home that we're trying to make compliant, and that home has been in existence since 1979. Nothing will change. The footprint will stay exactly the same. The applicants reached out to their neighbors, all but 2 of the people who are summer residents, so they had already left for the summer, and they received 8 letters of support, which are in your packet. And all of the lots on this list, this map that have numbers are of the people who have sent in letters of support. So you can see that there are many of the surrounding neighbors that do support this project. Under GZO 1.7.4, the applicant must show that the variance is being modified for good cause and that it doesn't impair the interests of the city or the neighborhood. Good cause has been shown because the modification is to correct a mistake made at the time the 2006 variance was granted. It's for existing dimensions, and the project doesn't change the front yard setback. Since there are no changes to the footprint of the building or the current setback, it remains compliant with height. There's no impairment of the interests of the city or the neighborhood. The McKays have shown good cause to construct the addition, given the recent flooding of their basement where the bedrooms are currently located. And if this board feels it's more appropriate to grant a new additional variance of 4 feet, I would suggest to you that it also meets those requirements, because there is a substantial hardship in that the lot shape is a very odd size. You can see it has a very long tail in the back. It was an error in the 2006 variance that they have been relying upon since they built the addition. The only way to remedy it without tearing down the house is to give them an additional variance, and it would create a substantial hardship for the applicants and wouldn't further the purpose of the ordinance not to grant that. The flooding creates a continuing financial hardship. They've spent thousands of dollars. In the last year, they had to replace the carpets twice. They've replaced sheetrock, casings. It also creates an unbearable living condition, musty smell, mildew, mold, damp conditions, high humidity in the summer causes their clothes to smell musty and moldy, and it has created an insect problem. And I would also suggest it won't substantially undercut the purpose of the GZO because the proposed addition is within the existing footprint and it is under the allowed height. Moreover, the project complies with all of the dimensional requirements, and it has more than double the setbacks that are required. There's only a 10-foot side yard setback, and it has 24 feet on both sides. For all these reasons, I would suggest that they also are eligible for a variance to be granted. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Why don't we see if there's any public input? Then we'll discuss. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of the application? And if you're in the hall, come forward. If you're on Zoom, you can hit your raise hand button and we'll try to recognize you and bring you in. Yes, ma'am.
Hold that mic,
To the
ma'am.
microphone?
You have to be talking right into the microphone.
Loud as you can.
It's not on.
Hello? Thank you. Hi, my name is Eileen Sullivan. I live at 86 Langsford Street in Gloucester, and I've been there for over 20 years. the back of my house faces their house, so I can see full view of their house. And for the last 20 years, like I said, we've been neighbors, and I have found them to be exceptional neighbors because they are so proud of their yard and their house. They maintain everything meticulously. So once this petition came up, I just felt the need on a neighborly basis to support it. So I just want to say that I do support this, and I can't see how it would be a detriment or anything to the neighborhood. And that's it.
Thank you for coming forward. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the application? You're going to.
Chairman, there's one hand raised.
Okay, we have Ally McKay. Hand raised.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Al D'Angelo of 12 Coggeshall Road. I'm in support of the project at 8 Coggeshall Road, and I don't think you'll have any negative impact on the neighborhood.
All righty, thank you. Anyone else in favor? None. Is there anyone in opposition to the application?
Hello, my name is Jay Frontero, wife Susan. We live at 10 Coggeshall Road to the right of the McKays. And we just want to go on the record that they had applied for a variance in 2017 to make this house a two-family. And we want to make sure that it doesn't end up as a continuation to get to a two-family. That's what our fear is, that this would be the first two-family house on Coggeshall Road. And we opposed that at the time, and they went other routes. So we're just hoping that this doesn't end up becoming a two-family eventually down the road.
Did you receive the letter that we had passed in on Monday? Okay.
Yes, we
So-
got that. Yep.
Instead of reiterating what we wrote in the letter, unless you want us to.
You feel free if you wish to for the public.
Oh, okay. The first time that they put an addition on the house, I don't remember what year, but I think she said something like 2006, maybe, was to make the house larger for family, because they were having families, families getting bigger. We never opposed that. We were fine with that. Then the second variance was for the two-family, correct? Okay. Was for the two-family. And we did oppose that because, first of all, the home is non-compliant. Second of all, our road is very, very small. That would mean additional vehicles, additional traffic, where one car can only pass, go up the road. You can't pass another car. You have to wait or pull over, which many do in our driveway. When they're driving up, they pull into our driveway so the car can pass, okay? There have been instances where at the end of the road, going onto Coggeshall Road, I've almost have been in 2 accidents where I was on Langsford Street, turning onto Coggeshall Road, but had to stop. And there were cars coming down Langsford Street toward me, and they had to put their brake on real quick because they thought I was just going to continue in. But I had to stop because a car was coming up and I didn't see it. Couldn't see it. Why I'm saying this is because, like my husband said, a footprint or another step into getting this two-family that they wanted in the first place. There have been water problems in that home for many, many years, okay? the way it's built. And we understand how they feel. Definitely do understand how they want to move everything up. We're nervous because of the fact that they could try for a variance for a two-family later. And we have to go through this whole thing again. They may not have to if she's thinking of, I'm not quite sure what the wording is, but what the lawyer was trying to say, trying to make the variance, 4-foot variance, whatever it is. We always thought it was 8 feet. We did not know it went down to 4 feet. Go away. And then later on, they could make their two-family into a two-family. And that would be very difficult for that road, that area of the neighborhood. There are no two families on that road. I do not understand what they meant by drainage around the house, that they did all this. I never saw that happen, but maybe it did. I didn't see it from outside. We're just nervous about that because we've had issues in the past, and I'll be honest with you. We've had our issues between them and us. And we just want to make sure this goes right and that there won't be any further additions later. I think that's.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak in opposition? Seeing no one, we'll have an opportunity for a rebuttal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to address the two-family issue. This isn't a segue to a two-family home. They originally applied in 2017 to convert to a two-family when Pam's mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And they withdrew the application before it went to hearing because her mother deteriorated further in health, and it was determined that it was better for her to stay in familiar surroundings. So they withdrew the application and have not pursued it since then. There's no longer any need for a two-family, and nor is the infrastructure being put in to make this a second unit. The only infrastructure that's going in is to make it a few bedrooms as well as bathroom additions. There's nothing else. And even if they wanted to convert it to a two-family, they would have to come back before you. They would need 10,000 square feet per unit, and they only have 6,000 square feet per unit. So they would need a variance for lot area, which, as we all know, is usually a difficult thing to obtain, especially in a neighborhood that does not have two families, as the abutters stated. It also is too large to meet the limits for an ADU. So I would suggest to you that they meet all the requirements to modify the permit. They also meet the requirements for a variance, and they would not be able to, as of right, put in a two-family.
Thank you. Discussion by the board?
Well, I voted for it the first time. My name's on that.
So, I mean, what's before us obviously is a second floor addition and just correcting a variance that was written up wrong. We're not changing the footprint, so would your preference be to amend or add another variance?
I would say modify it, right?
Modify.
It was originally to correct the original error.
Attorney Ellison, is that adequate if we modify the variance? Okay. All righty. There's no more discussion. We'll entertain a motion.
On the petition of Chris and Pamela McKay, seeking to modify previously granted variance for 8 Coggleshell Road, I would move modification of the variance to reflect an 8-foot variance as opposed to the 4 feet stated in the 2006 variance. I think there's good cause to correct the record. They're staying on the footprint, so I would move approval of this.
I would second that.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the modification of the variance. Roll call vote.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Schlichty,
Yes.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes.
Mr. Parisi.
Yes. Our decision is favorable. We'd appreciate a draft decision if possible. Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, our next hearing is the petition of Charles Allen seeking a special permit, 1.9, 2.4.5, to demolish and replace a pre-existing non-conforming structure. A special use permit, 1.8, 2.3.1, subsection 3, for a change of use from a single-family to a two-family dwelling with exterior changes, and a variance under 1.7, 3.2.1 from side yard setback requirements in order to demolish a pre-existing, non-conforming, single-family home and replace it with a two-family home at 64 Woodward Avenue.
I don't see that.
I talked to him today. Yeah, I saw him today, the owner of that building.
Oh, you did? Yeah. He said he was going to come in through Zoom? Ah,
Want me to check if it says D, B? Because it should be a,
Yeah, I think it's his builder that's going to
Dearborn.
represent him.
oh,
Lee, somebody maybe?
There's a Bill Allen. This name on here was
His name is Allen.
C. Allen.
Dave
Yeah.
Allen. So-
Aaron Allen?
Now, let's, if you're the applicant or representing the applicant, you could raise your hand so we can bring you in and make you a participant. On your device, you hit, there you go. And we'll bring him in as a panelist.
I don't think he needs a variance, this guy. He doesn't need a variance along the left side, though,
Oh, there's it.
because he's already in the setback. He's just extending the setback. On the left-hand side. On the, what,
That corridor.
Hello, this is Charlie Allen.
Hi,
Hi, is Lee Dearborn on?
pardon me?
Is Lee Dearborn on?
We don't know, we don't see that unless they raise their hand, so we know
Okay.
who they are.
He-
We only see names.
He was the one that was supposed to be making the presentation and one that put the package together.
If he is out there, he needs to raise his hand. The only people we're seeing is Bill, DB, and Thomas. So with your computers, people don't put good names on their computers, so you know, yours was Allen. So it's hard for us to know who we should be talking to.
I mean, I can talk to it generally, but not really technically. I can say that the existing, what we call the annex building, is the one that had the side setback variance requirement.
Yeah, somebody's got to tell us a little bit about your project here, what you're trying to do.
Okay.
We're asking to change use from one to two family, so we need to hear about that.
Right. So let me see if I can pull up the presentation. Can I somehow share my screen? Let's see. Here.
Down at the bottom, it says share,
Doesn't
it
need a
should say
variance.
share screen.
Think about the corridor.
Okay, so you can see my screen there now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the existing property. There are two buildings. The one on the right, which we call the main house, the one on the left we call the annex. The main house was built in 1878, the annex in 1916. They've been in my property since they were built in 1878 and 1916. And what we're looking to do, they're just summer places now. And what we're looking to do is make year-round houses out of it. The main house would be where my daughter, her husband, and their child would live. And then the annex would be my home. And what we're looking at doing is pretty much tearing down the existing main house and rebuilding on that same parcel. And then with the annex, try to save a portion of it and then extend it further back into the property. I forget the exact dimension.
So,
And let's see, I haven't been through this.
Joe, can I make a comment before he gets
Sure.
too far in here?
Let us help along here with some comments. Mike?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at existing 3.1, existing, oh, that's the existing, shoot. Okay. I need to find the new.
3.1.
Okay, so we'll do the new construction. So it'd be A 3.1 then, front elevation. He's just showing two separate buildings connected by an open deck breezeway. So he can't do that. Has to be closed.
Whether it's walls or glass, we're not fussy, but it has to be closed.
Right, has to be closed. So he probably doesn't know that, that's all.
So that the porch or walkway between the two buildings needs to be enclosed?
Yeah, you can't have two buildings on one lot, and for something to be a two-family, it has to share a common wall.
Okay.
A hot wall, not a deck, even with a roof over it. It has to have walls. So if you're going to use a corridor method, it's got to be all enclosed because it can't transition outside. If it was butted up against it, they would share a wall, and that would qualify.
I see. Okay.
So you have some issues. And we certainly would give you the opportunity to continue for 2 weeks if you needed to get things clearer with your person that's helping you or whoever's. And maybe have a meet with the building department to make sure you're compliant. Now, why couldn't he apply for an ADU? Oh, it's bigger? Yeah.
It's oversized. By putting the addition on that thing, it's over the size.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you're trying to build a second building that's bigger, we're trying to think about a way we can get this to work, and it's not necessarily working in your favor right yet. The buildings would have to be connected to be converted to a two-family. We aren't allowed to permit new buildings, two buildings on one lot.
Okay, yeah, I guess we definitely can look at that and make some adjustments.
You want to have us continue for 2 weeks so you can
Yes, that
get it
would
a
be,
little clearer in case you have to modify anything?
yeah, that would be good if we could
Okay,
postpone for 2 weeks.
no problem with that. Everybody in agreement? Let them continue for
Sure,
2
give him,
weeks?
probably give him some sort of time parameter too, though. If he's going to modify those plans, we
Right.
don't want to see them for the first time the night of the hearing.
Yep.
What, 72 hours, is that what we have these days?
Yeah, I would say, so if you're going to have to, after you consult and whatever, modify your plans, we're going to need to see those 72 hours ahead of the next meeting.
Okay,
So we're
I
going to.
think that's most likely doable. I'll have to check with Lee, but I would assume that he could do something by that time.
There's other problems, you can communicate with us and we can work with you
So that's another day.
on time extension. So we're going to entertain a motion to continue till October 24th.
I would like to make a motion on the petition of Charles Allen at 61 Woodward Avenue to continue to the meeting on October 24th.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Nyman?
Yes.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Ms. Schlichting?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes. You've heard our decision. We're continuing it to be back in 2 weeks, and let us know what's up 72 hours in advance with any modifications on the plan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next hearing of the evening is the petition of Soraya Kasichi and Sean Lobdell seeking variances under 1.7 and 3.2.1 for minimum distance to principal building and setback requirements rear and side to construct an accessory building shed at 10 Rocky Pasture Road. Anyone here to present? Okay, great. You gotta turn it on.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Soraya Kachichi. This is Sean Lobdell. We live at 10 Rocky Pasture Road. It is a very tiny 700 square foot art studio that was built in 1920. And it actually was the art studio to a property in front of us on Haskell Street. So as you can imagine, it's small. We have one closet. We don't have a basement and we do not have an attic. So we really need a shed. The shed would be 7 by 11. Michael came to take a look at the property today. You wouldn't even see it from the street. Our property is actually set quite far back from the street. You can't see it driving by. So the shed would sit like in the back corner of the property, and it would abut two other homes directly, actually 3 directly. We did speak with all of our direct abutters, and we heard from all but one who said they would not oppose. I'm hoping that last person who we didn't hear from will not oppose, but that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any questions?
One minute. You can sit in the front row. We may ask you something. We're going to take some public input, see if there's any concerns. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the application, please raise your hand. Anyone in favor? If you're among the vast crowd here and you wish to come forward and speak, feel free. I see none. Anyone in opposition to the application? Anyone wish to speak in opposition? Raise your hand on your device. No one? No need for rebuttal. Discussion by the board? Any questions?
Sort of aside, I think they'll fit better into the neighborhood with a shed in the corner. Because
Yeah, it's
2
quite
of their
a-
neighbors have
Have
sheds
the
up
sheds.
against
They
the
all
fence.
do, and we're really congested.
So-
And you can't see, I mean, there's so much vegetation, so. It was hard for me to just like kind of figure out if it was going to bother anyone, so.
Yes.
In the interest of resolving shed envy, I think we should approve this.
I agree. I love sheds on the corner. All right, if everybody feels that way, we'll entertain a motion on the application.
I'd like to make a motion on the petition of Soraya Kachichi and Sean Lobdell seeking a variance 1.7 and 3.2.1 at 10 Rocky Pasture Road
Thank you.
for a shed.
We have a motion made and seconded for variance. 3 variances, distance to principal building being close and the setbacks on the rear and side. Roll call vote.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes, for the
Miss-
3 variances.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes, for all the relief.
Ms. Schlichty,
Yes, for all the relief.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes, for all the relief.
Mr. Parisi.
I also vote yes. You heard our decision's favorable. We will draft a decision and adopt it hopefully by our next meeting, and then it'll get notified to you. There's an appeal period. They tell you all the instructions when you get it. All righty, thank you.
Good luck, enjoy.
Good luck.
Want to write that anymore? Probably. Allison would know. I'll write this one, no problem. Just in case, because you're going on a plane. Okay, we have one other order of business, is the approval of our meeting schedule for 2025. Everybody should have got that in the packet. There's nothing unusual about it, right? We didn't change anything. We didn't even do the October modifying for Halloween, so I think we're good. Anybody got a problem with it, or we'll take a motion?
Pretty standard stuff. First and third,
Yeah, pretty much right through, no.
first and
Only,
last Thursday.
one in November,
Second
one
and
in
last,
December,
that's what I
just like
meant.
this year.
That's what I said.
Seems.
And we're working Fiesta Thursday.
Uh-oh.
Still 1 in November, 1 in December.
Yeah.
Okay.
I move approval of the 2025 zoning board hearing calendar.
Second?
Made and seconded, roll call vote.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Schlichty,
Yes.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Yes. That is approved, the schedule, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Gelati,
Yes.
sorry, Mr. Gelati, Ms. Schlichty,
Elected,
Oh,
that's you.
yes. I thought you said Wilson.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes.
Close.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes.
Mr. Parisi.
Yes, we are officially adjourned.